That should be better. Yeah, there we go. So my mic is now on, which makes all the difference when I'm trying to speak. So, hey everyone. I am taking today to do a little bit of, you know, just drawing, painting, whatever, inside of Fresco. Gonna do some spooky stuff. Gonna make just like a spooky scene. I'm thinking like something in the dark woods, that kind of deal. So, yeah, hopefully everything's all set up now and we can get going. So, yeah, I got Fresco open here. Let's just start off with some kind of broad strokes. That's kind of how I like to do things generally inside of Fresco. Just start large and like build it up, right? Different people, of course, have different ways of working with this stuff, but I like to do that, and I like to use many, many layers as well. So let's see. Get my iPad comfortable here, a good position, because that does make a lot of difference. All right, let's move this little guy over there and select a brush. Vector, we got live brushes. I think I'm gonna do some live brush oil, and let's just do basic oil paint around. Just see kind of what that looks like right now. Can make it a little bigger for sure. Okay. And yeah. And I don't know. I mean, we could start with like straight black, but let's actually go a little bit gray blue here. Still pretty dark, but gray blue rather than black. And we'll just lay some color down for sort of like a sky. And maybe a little darker for kind of like the ground area down here. Take my mix down a bit. All right, so there's the beginnings of what we got, and what we can do is just sort of build upon this. Let's actually grab our little smudgy here. Just kind of smear this guy around. Just sort of combine these different colors, right? These different paints. Yeah, so how's everyone doing today on the live stream? I hope everybody is well. I've got, including my class today, I have, I think, 4 different sort of presentations that I'm giving, which is a lot. This is the first one. In 2 hours, I will be going live with Adobe for Education on Facebook and some other platforms as well. Going over some stuff around Adobe Animate. We're gonna do some more sort of Halloween-based stuff, which will be fun. So if you're interested in checking that out, follow Adobe for Education on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and yeah, I'm doing that in 2 hours. Let's see here. I'm gonna grab that brush again, live brush. So a couple of things here. I want to make some trees. So let's just do some basic sketching for trees. Something along the side right here. And something along this side over here. Actually, could always do this on a new layer too. Make it a little easier to work with. And let's change the brush. Yeah, that's good. Okay, cool. So, just basic outlines right now. And, you know, we detail as we go through later on. And here I'm thinking like just trunks, right? Along that side and even in the back here. In the distance. Now, another thing I want to do is I want to go through and create some stuff in the sky here. I want a moon, so do some highlights. And actually, I want to do some stuff at the bottom too. So we gotta define like bushes and things like that. And again, we're just being really rough right now. I'm thinking back to you know, sort of the woods where I grew up in Massachusetts, and you know, very dense. And at night, they're just spectacular in terms of their aspects of darkness. A bit and smudge this up. I gotta be careful with the smudge. You don't want it to be too strong or too big. There we go, that's a bit better. This gives me a bit more control over exactly how I'm smudging this stuff, right? So let's focus on this tree now. And again, you know, feel free to say hi in the chat. I am monitoring the chat, and there's a good number of you here right now, which is nice. So thank you for joining. I'm like completely loaded up on coffee right now. Which I'm gonna need to be loaded today with all that I've got going on. So we're gonna focus on this tree right here. Let's go back here. I'm gonna go straight black, I think. Pretty close to increase that size. So again, what's everybody up to? What are you up to in your work? In your other activities? Hope everyone is busy. 'Cause that's one thing I can't stand. Is when I don't have something to do, right? If you're not busy, sometimes it can be very hard to deal with. Alright, let's bring this guy down. There's some additional ranges here, right? That's one of the things working in Fresco, or, you know, anything like this. You know, switch up your brushes. Switch up the sizes. Give that sort of variance, right? I mean, that's how we work in traditional media, right? If I was actually using oils here, I'd have a set of brushes. And, yeah, I'd be cleaning my brushes and switching them out, getting something thinner, thicker, whatever I might need. And trees are always weird. I love trees. You know, and it kind of sucks. In Colorado, where I live now, we don't have a ton of trees. You know, everybody thinks that the mountains are full of trees, but they're, you know, I mean, there's some trees, but it's different. It's not like trees in New England and other areas of the country where it's just thick with them, you know? It's very different. And in my opinion, not in a good way. It's easy to overdo stuff like this. Got to be careful. Get everything right. Let's add to these trees over here, because they look pretty bare still. And these, of course, are much thinner, different kind of trees, right? And some of them are more in the distance, so, you know, they don't need as much definition. And I'll probably smudge these around a little bit, not as intensely as I did the background, but still a bit. Anyone have any unique plans for Halloween? I don't really like the holiday of Halloween. I don't like it very much. It just seems kind of, you know how it is. Things get taken over by sort of it's like a mass produced kind of thing, you know? Like whenever anything isn't done on personal scale, small scale, things get, you know, it loses the spirit, no pun intended, of the thing. And it's like that with like Christmas too, right? Like consumerism just taking over everything. And I guess it's the same thing with Halloween, right? Gotta sell all sorts of stuff. Here, let's go smudgy once more. And how are we looking? Oh, come here, buddy. I'm gonna make it very big, but take the strength down quite a bit. Ooh, that's too much. That's why we love undo. Even, yeah, even that's too much. So I'm just sort of barely touching this here. Smear that out. Because I don't want a ton of detail in these trees over here. They exist, but they don't exist on the same level as this big guy over on the other side, right? Yes. So, I don't know, I would still like to do a little bit more. I don't want it as defined. There we go. Just kind of smooth out some of these bits here and there. I probably should have changed my smudge brushes, right? Yeah, it's a bit better. Let's go in here too and let's change the actual background of the whole thing. Just so we don't have that white in the background there. Go ahead and, well, let's just dump a bunch of paint on there. Yeah, sure. There we go. Now it's dark. Cool. So let's see. As I said, I want some moonlight and the moon. And pretty soon, I think we should probably switch things up a little bit. And get some, get another layer going on. Because at this point we can kind of start doing these details in here. And actually for the moon, I'm gonna go back to my previous layer where I had filled in that blue color. And let's actually build up from there. Because I do want it to kind of combine with that. So for the moon, I want it to be sort of like a very pale orange color, orange yellow. Somewhere here. What we can do too, of course, is The thing is, smudging, you know, something like a moon is going to give it a nice glow around there. So you can see how that's sort of, I've got this nice kind of glow going on due to the smudging effect. Yeah, so it just looks like a pale, yeah. Let's add in some more though, moon glow to this. And for that, you know, I'm gonna actually create this on a new layer because I don't want this to really interfere too much with everything else. Oh, hey Timothy, how are you? Thank you very much. I'm glad you find it interesting. Yeah, sometimes I just don't know. You know? I just don't know if what I'm doing is interesting to people or not. You know? So this is a cool thing about layers, right? Doing stuff like this that you can't do with traditional painting is I can insert a layer from my moon glow behind the layer that I like drew most of my tree detail on for these trees here, and you know, as I paint, it just kind of goes in between, which is just super, super awesome. Let's bump that up some more. So this is moon glow, so it should be pretty smudgy. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So this is glow. This is moonlight. So I want this to be, gosh, yeah, pretty smudged. Like more so than just about anything else, right? And we could always take the opacity of this down a bit too. So it's a little more subtle, right? There's no glow. There's max glow. Let's go right about there. And of course, it doesn't have to be final, right? We can change this whenever we want to. It's looking pretty good, though. I mean, the thing with, you know, I do a lot of different types of things on Behance. I work with a lot of different applications and so forth. Most of the time, gosh, you know, I take the strength down to like anything below 10, and Fresco has a friggin' fit on me. It just starts glitching out. I don't know why. Get those roots a bit smeary. I am really liking how this is turning out. It really does look like a spooky walk in the woods. See, like right there, we're just kind of glitching out a little bit. See, I tend to like things that are sort of, you know, kind of ethereal like this. Just sort of dreamy. Lots of times when I do dream about things like I'm walking through the woods or running through the woods or whatever it might be, lots of times this is such a strange thing, Lots of times my eyesight in my dream is bad. I'm usually like sunblind. And I just can't focus. Which is very different from how I do things the rest of the time, right? Thanks, Timothy. I appreciate that comment. And, you know, everybody else, feel free. There's a ton of people. There's like 100 people on right now, which is pretty good. I usually don't get that many people on my streams, so welcome everyone. I hope you all enjoy seeing some of what I'm working on here. So I think now that I've got this is feeling pretty good. Let's actually go in and focus on the ground here a bit. I'm gonna need some rough bushes, stones. It just looks like kind of mist right now, which, I mean, I love mist, but we need a little something here. So let's see. Let's go back into our live brushes. Let's do some oil paint chunky and do something more of a gray. Something like that. And I think what we'll do is actually create another new layer. And oops, that's really big. Stop it. Undo. So, the live brushes in Fresco, right? It's one of the best things. You know, before I had access to Fresco, I started getting into watercolors again. And I don't know if anybody's seen them. They have specific watercolor brush pens now, where it's like a pen that you fill up with water, and it's got bristles on the end. And you squeeze it, and a little bit of water comes out, right? And then you can use it to paint with watercolors. I started using that, and I used that for a couple of years, I think. Maybe not quite 2 years before I got access to Fresco. And, I mean, I don't think I've barely picked it up again, just because it's so convenient, you know, doing something like this. It's just super, super convenient to just be able to paint, to draw, and to not have to worry about, you know, am I making any mistakes? Because really, it doesn't matter. If you do make mistakes, you can always undo. You can always tweak the different layers if you're using layers, which I always recommend. Really use layers for this stuff. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be perfect either, right? You can always make adjustments to these things. So one thing that I like to do, let's go ahead and, because I want to keep the detail of the ground here, but of course it doesn't look like it's really melding into the rest of the scene, right? But what I can do is let's actually duplicate this layer and then use the layer underneath, and I'll actually smudge that layer and then change the opacity of the layer above it, just to kind of level off the amount of detail that I might want with this thing, right? So let's bring up our smudge brushes again. Just kind of see how this works. I'm going to actually, let's just hide this layer for now, so I can focus on the one I'm smudging. So I want the smudging to extend past, you know, what I've defined with my brush strokes. That way it'll blend in a lot nicer to what else we have going on here. And you know, I mean, I wanted some highlights on the ground, but it kind of looks like maybe too much, too bright. It's not integrated enough, but we can fix that, of course, with different opacity changes, blend modes, things of that nature. Again, things that you cannot do with you know, traditional media, but you can do inside of something like Fresco, which is hugely freeing because you can try different things, right? Which was always the drawback with traditional media, is if you tried something and it didn't work, you know, what would happen? You'd basically have to finish up the work that you were doing, right? The piece that you were doing, and start all over again. And, you know, try something different. With this, you can try things incrementally as you go, and you don't have to, you know, really blow a bunch of time doing things that you'd rather not do again. All right, let's have a look, see how this works. So let's go ahead and I want to make this layer visible again. Show layer. All right, so we can see how that's looking. It's a little too much right now. Hello. Interesting. There we go. Kind of locked up on me there. Did it again. It's not letting me choose a blend mode, unfortunately. It's got me a little worried. I'm gonna go ahead and save right now. Got me a little concerned, Fresco. That's interesting how I can't choose a blend mode. I wonder why that is. Huh. Well. That's one of the drawbacks of using digital workflows like this, right? Is that you get digital problems. You know, let's smooth this out a bit more. It still looks a bit too much to me. Yeah. Gosh, it's annoying I can't use my blend modes though. It's really not great. I'm gonna blend these trees together at the bottom a little more. They stand out a little too much. I like things to blend smoothly. It's looking pretty good. Let's check on my streams. So yeah, just like housekeeping. I've made further tweaks to my whole arrangement here, right? That you can see around here, the framing. One thing I'd like to point out is that I'm a networking ambassador at Adobe Max. So I've set up a couple of, they're calling them brain dates, which is sort of creepy and weird, but that's the name of the thing. So I'm participating in a whole bunch of those, and you can find those. Let's undo that. You can find those at, what is it? It's max.braindate.com or something like that. If you look on my Twitter, I've got a thing on there. So look me up on Twitter and you'll find it if you want to participate, or if you want to suggest some sort of a topic. That is fine too. I'm looking forward to topics to talk about. I've got a number of them already settled, but always room for more. And it depends on what people are interested in talking about. I've got my own things up there, but not everybody's interested in what I want to talk about probably, so. All right, so let's actually, so the idea behind most of this, let's finish this piece right here. I want a figure back here. Let's see, we'll start like this. I'm thinking head right here. I want to make it kind of spectral, right? Maybe a hood. You don't want to see like some hooded, robed figure in the woods like this, right? one of the things with hands, you gotta make sure that they're in proportion, right? If they're too small or too big, it's it kind of kills it, you know? That's pretty good. Yeah, the reason I chose to do some stuff in Fresco today was mostly because I do have so much other stuff going on today. So I was, gosh, you know, it's like, yeah, let's just do something relaxing and artistic inside of Fresco. So I don't have to stress about one of these presentations today, right? At least one. So I want this to fade into everything else down at the bottom. That is looking nice. I like this. So eventually I'm gonna probably crop this in a certain way. I'm not quite sure how or to what specification, but I'll work in some detail on this guy. Let's see. Darker. You know, let's go ahead and do a layer on top for the detail. I don't want to goof this up. There we go. That's too small though. That's better. And I want to go almost completely black for the detail. Flow down a bit. There we go. And I don't want too much detail because I want it to remain, you know, pretty dark, pretty amorphous in some spots. But I do want some hints here, right? Some hints of a skeleton underneath. Ah, Christina, hi. How you doing? Thank you very much. Welcome to this little pre-Max, pre-Halloween stream here. So this paint down here I'm just going to use to blend some more, right? Smudge. So I don't care to be too careful with it. I just want to get some of those black colors in there. There we go. And let's do some of the rest here too. Take the strength way down because I don't want to destroy the detail, but I do want it to blend in a bit more. I just want the hint of some ribs, you know? So having this on another layer, right? My details, my black details here, having them on another layer, what that does is that is going to allow me to do things like smear the details a little bit if I want to, if they're a little too sharp. And, you know, with those details smeared, it keeps the sort of background of the figure intact. Just a little bit. And I want switch up the colors here. I want some red eyes. Yeah. What's the spacing there? Pretty good. Let's put another layer. And gosh, Command S, Command S, Command S, right? Not on an iPad, but you know, somewhat the equivalent. So I've got this guy here. I'm gonna, again, very similar to what I do, make a nice glow here. And smear that up. Woo. Woo. Very fun. And let's put a little moonlight on him too. Because, you know, something like a ghost, right? So a ghost can't really hurt you, right? Ghosts can't hurt you because, you know, they can't really enact with matter. But this guy, I want this guy to not be a ghost. I want him to be just this wretch, you know, like think about like stories from like Eastern Europe around like revenants and things like that, just like sort of like zombie vampire creature, you know, just something that's just like friggin' horrible, just like coming out of the woods. And it's not a ghost, right? It's something that is a physical form. It can like hurt you. That's what I'm going for here with this, is you're in the woods and you're walking through the woods and you see this thing, you know? And you're just like, oh, get me the hell out of here, right? Alright, so let's go ahead and add some small highlights to like the shoulder. Because like I said, this is...
Why do you like it better when it's quiet? Have you always liked it quiet, or...?
Maybe hint at a skull underneath here, right? Yeah. Yeah, just a little hint from the moon. And then we'll... I don't know if I should take that down or... Oh, I put that with the eyes, didn't I? Oh, well. In that case, let's go smudgy again. You know, if we wanted to darken this, which I do, a little more than that, thank you. You can always add some black to it as well. Then once you smudge, it's going to smudge that black in there too. So you'll get sort of a combination. And I like how it turned into this kind of sickly yellow color. It's almost turning green, which is kind of interesting.
Listening to music and not talking.
I've always been a big smudger when it comes to painting. I think that's one of the reasons I like to use watercolors so much too. Because, like, you know, you've got certain things, right? You've got there we go. That's pretty good. Like, you've got watercolors, which, you know, you can be detailed with watercolors, especially if it's like, you know, if you're just like using them without a ton of water, and also if you're doing like ink and watercolors, which is something I've done quite a bit. You know, you can go through and make things very detailed, or you can make them not so detailed at all. It all kind of depends on the sort of look you're going for. All right, well, check that out. It's pretty good. So what I'm gonna do, well, there are some additional things I want to do here. I want to darken the foreground a bit, because this isn't doing it for me. So let's add another layer right here. And we'll just do this kind of rough. Let's use a nice black. Very dark purple black. Increase that flow. The size. It's not quite as black as I want. Let's change that. Yeah, that's better. Take the flow down quite a bit. I just want to darken this up too. I'm just adding some paint to these areas, which I'm then going to smudge. Ooh, we need this bigger. There we go. Look at that. That's much better. Actually, maybe add a little bit more here too. Just a bit. Nothing crazy. There we go. and the base of these. Alright, so I started this off, as you can see, as a square. I'm going to crop it in a different way. And, dude, that's scary. Oh no. Super. Right on. So I think it's pretty much done. I can tweak it for hours if I wanted to, but you know, like I said, I do have like other presentations to prepare for and do, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up. And to wrap it up, I am gonna crop this fellow here. If I can remember exactly how to do that. I can change the artboard size through. I can't remember how to crop. Of course, I could always open this up in Photoshop and crop it there. Oh, here, is this it? Yeah. Hi. What do you want, Fresco? Look at that. Let's just save it. I don't know what Fresco's doing. It's like, it sometimes is a little bit buggy, which is sad. I'll transform. That's not what I want. I want to crop the thing. Done. No, that's what I just did. Joseph. What are you doing, Joseph? Well, yeah, none of these are doing it. I really just want to crop my image, but I mean, it says change right here. But it's not really, it just kind of goes dark when I try to do that. Oh well, I mean, whatever. You can't have everything, I suppose. Let's give this a name. Let's call it Wooded Fright. Sounds good. Wow, I cannot believe how many people are on this little stream here. That's great. Hey, Reverb Mike, how are you? Haven't seen you in a little bit. Probably because I popped off to do some nightly streams for a while, which was fun, but it's just so weird doing it at night because, like, lots of times you don't feel like it. You know, you just want to relax. You just want to go to bed or whatever. You don't want to have to deal with stuff. Look at that. It's so weird. It just kind of... I mean, am I missing something here? Fresco? No, it's just sort of... yeah. Well, I will crop it in Photoshop or something. And that'll be that. Come here, buddy. Dude. Alright. iOS is taking over. It's like, oh, you're trying to do this and that. It's like, no, I'm not. All right, I will share this though to my Behance once I crop it. But yeah, so wow, like 120 people. It's pretty cool. Oh yeah, Reverb Mike. Yeah, absolutely. Just chill out. And I used to like to chill out too. You know, on the stream, right? So yeah, being able to just chill on the stream is nice too, but it's just so variable. You just never know. You never know how you're gonna feel at night. At least in the morning, you're like, okay, I'm all refreshed, right? I'm ready to start the day, whatever. But at night, if it's a hard day, it's a busy day, then you're not really gonna feel like it. And of course, I said I was done with this, but I keep tweaking it because, you know, that's kind of how things are. That's how things work. You just keep tweaking stuff. Which, it's always like, well, at some point you just gotta kind of be like, all right, it's done. Which, I think we're getting to that point here. I just can't stop messing with it. Hey, get that flow up. And take that mix down. And just adding some of this same kind of purple color to the tree here that is on Spectre and over here. Just kind of balance things out a bit. It almost gives the illusion at this point that that there's actually like more of these things. You know, there's more of them out there, and they're sort of coming. All right, well, that's It's so weird. So I'm like, I'm completely sort of like, so there's a comment from Melanie about cropping using making a selection first. Yeah, so I wonder if that would work. I was thinking about that. Let's go ahead and try to make a nice rectangular selection here. Though I should be able to just change my size. And the thing is, yeah, see, there's no like real way to crop the darn thing. I mean, there is, right? It's just not working for me. Because it's up here where we can change our size, right? However, the overlay doesn't come up for me. It just kind of shades everything. So, oh, that's funny. My duration just showed on Behance that I've been streaming for 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. Which is not true at all. Well, yeah, I'll figure it out. Actually, I could always ask Google, right? Although I'm pretty sure I'm doing it correctly, you know? Pretty sure that that's how you do it, because I've done it before. Let's see, Adobe, Fresco, crop. Yep, there isn't a crop tool in Fresco yet. It's a workaround. You could duplicate the drawing, then change the canvas size. Once you duplicate the drawing, open the duplicate. Tap the gear icon, which I did, then tap on the field of document size, which I did. So, yeah. I'm doing it correctly. It's just that Fresco apparently is just being a little buggy. Anyway. Cool. Well, I'm gonna call it good. Like I said, I'll crop this in Photoshop because for those who don't know, a Fresco document is actually a Photoshop cloud-based document, which is really convenient. But thanks everyone for joining. Massive turnout today, for me anyway. And I hope you enjoyed this. This guy. This really creepy little painting here that we did. So, right on. I will see everyone later on if you join me for another stream. I do appreciate you coming onto the stream live, and anybody who's watching the replay, that's always cool too. So yeah. Anybody who's going to Adobe Max next week, have a nice Max. I'm going to do what I can. And again, yeah, check out my brain dates for Max as a networking ambassador. Let me actually grab that URL because I've got it on hand here. Let's see. Move this out of my way. No. Let's copy that. Yeah, so here is my brain date profile here. You can see I got a couple things. I got a live streaming on Behance, little tiny group project. There's 2 spots left in that. I'm doing a couple fish bowls, which only Max ambassadors can create. So one of those is teaching creative design software, 11 spots. Another one is let's talk about Flash, because and there's 18 spots left there. Yeah, so cool. I'm gonna paste this into here in case anybody wants to join up with me at Adobe Max for some cool conversations. There it is. All right, nice. So everybody, again, thank you. And I am gonna close out the stream. So have a nice week. I'm gonna have a really short Behance session during Max next week at my normal time, but it has to be very short because I have one of these brain date things that kind of cuts into it a little bit. So we're just gonna do a little Adobe Max special chill out session. All right. Right on. Thanks, everyone. See you all later. Oh, and join me at 11 if you wish, or in about 45 minutes Mountain Standard Time for my Adobe for Education session that's going to be on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and so forth. Look for Adobe for EDU. We're going to be talking about Adobe Animate and creating some spooky Halloween stuff inside of Animate. So, yeah, join me for that directly after here. All right. Again, for the 5th time, I guess I'll see everyone sometime soon. Thank you.